What up, peeps and peepettes? MorbTron back today with more Warframe, and today we're doing a no Forma Mesa build. So Mesa is a Warframe that I had no patience for farming, and I spent some platinum getting. Not feel like farming for infested LV tokens or keys. That was going to be no bueno, and I was way too interested in Mesa to do that farm. Still trying to farm for Nova parts. Hasn't happened yet. But here we are, the no Forma Mesa build. A little bit about Mesa first and her abilities. That's the wrong thing. Abilities is what I meant to do. Ballistic battery. So when you activate this, you store a little bit of your damage from your weapons. And then if you activate it, once it reaches 100%, you do bonus damage on your next bullet shot. So damage percentage you can see is increased, and the buffer limit is basically the extra damage you can do. That's kind of cool. Shooting gallery gives your allies extra damage while jamming the guns of nearby enemies. Very, very strong crowd control while buffing your teammates' damage output. Very good ability. Shatter Shield envelops Mesa in a barrier of energy, reflecting back incoming bullet damage. Can basically make Mesa invincible with a 95% damage reduction with this build. Very easy to obtain that 95% damage reduction as well. You really only need a little bit of power strength to get that. But then we get Peacemaker, my favorite ability with Mesa. With intense focus, Mesa draws her regulator pistol, shooting down her foes in rapid succession. It is so much fun to just mow down a ton of enemies in an instant. It's fantastic. It's the best thing ever. Mesa is rapidly becoming my favorite frame to use against Grineer and Corpus. Much more effective against Grineer because you don't have the nullifier bubbles. But still good against Corpus as well. Infested not so much because Infested don't really shoot you, so Shatter Shield kind of becomes useless. But if you have other means of CCing them, and, you know, if you have like a healer with you or something, there's a port frame like Oberon, or something to heal you. You know, you'll still do good damage. And shooting gallery, as long as they have some sort of a ranged weapon, will still CC them and buff your friends. So we'll go into the build here, then we'll go into the rest of the weapons. Now, one thing I did forget to mention is her passive ability is you shoot dual-wielded sidearms faster and reload single-handed sidearms more rapidly, and you gain bonus health when not using melee weapons. So you can see right now, I have 825 health. If I equip a melee weapon, let's just equip Tenno Prime, for instance. Bam. My health, oh, okay. My health goes down. So yeah, I would suggest not using a melee weapon. Again, if you want, it's not that big of a change. Yeah, so we're going to go over the build real quick before we get into anything. This is with 0 Forma, and I'm using Energy Siphon, and this doesn't match the polarity, of course, so you get only half the bonus. I'm using Power Drift, Primed Flow, 3 from Max. 3 from Max mostly because I don't have the Endo to upgrade this all the way. I just got Primed Flow this week. But I'm 3 from Max already on it. Spent a ton of Endo on the thing, and it craves more. I'm using a Vitality, of course, not leveled up all the way. Intensify is all the way. I've got Stretch, Continuity, and Streamline. Kind of the run-of-the-mill mods you're going to get. You know, if you don't have Prime Flow yet, you can, by all means, use a regular flow. You'll have a couple more points to put into something else if you want to. I also have Cunning Drift, and I have Cunning Drift I had 6 points extra and didn't really know what to use, and I thought that that extra ability range would really help out with crowd control and things like that. With my 2 ability, and it also increases the range in which that I can reflect enemy bullets back at them with 3. So, figured why not? A little bit of range, and makes my slide a little bit better on top of that. So, why not? I know it's two Exilis mods together. Whatever. Whatever. So you can see the bonuses there. Mesa is really squishy if you don't have 3 up. Like, if you get meleeed, you take a ton of damage. So try to stay away from melee, or kill them before they get to you, would be my advice. If you're going up against Grineer, anything that's going to melee you usually has a ranged weapon as well, so you're still going to CC them before they get to you, and then you can just mow them down. Now, as far as weapon choice goes, I'm using Amprex. You know, you could use really anything. You know, I have Latron Prime, I have Heck. Heck might actually be really good. If you don't have a support frame with you, you get, you know, the self-heal off of Scattered Justice. So that'd be really good. But I'm going to be using Amprex just because. No real cause, really. This is the build with Amprex. It's just something I threw together real quick at 3 Forma. If you're interested in it. It's got Corrosive and Hunter Munitions, along with Serration. Point Strike for that extra crit, along with Hunter Munitions. Split Chamber, and then Hammer Shot, just for funsies. And then some Sinister Reach, again, just for funsies. But the important thing with Mesa is actually the secondary weapon. I'm using the Sikaris Prime, and I've pumped 2 Forma into the gun. So, out of the box, I did this a couple days ago. I did a no Forma Sikaris Prime build. Comes with a Matter-Eye, or a V polarity already on it. I put 2 more Matter-Eye, or V, on it. It has Heat and Corrosive. It also has Barrel Diffusion, Lethal Torrent, a 3 from Max Hornet Strike, and yeah. So basically any mod that you have on your on your secondary weapon goes towards your 4th ability. So the 4th ability will have both heat and corrosive procs on it. It is not affected by any of your gun's actual stats. So your gun's rate of fire, magazine size, status, critical strike chance, any of that. Even the impact, puncture, slash is set for the number 4 ability. You have 50% of it is in impact, and then the other 50% is split evenly between puncture and slash. So 25% puncture, 25% slash, off of its base damage, which is increased by your ability power. So, and like I said, not using a melee weapon. I would recommend using Carrier as your companion. Use what you want, though, but you're going to be shooting weapons all the time, and you don't have a melee weapon at all with this build, so Carrier is definitely recommended. But we're going to take this build into a quick survival, just to kind of show you guys what Mesa can do. Alright, so we're 10 minutes in, and we're doing pretty good. My health is down a little bit, and that's because I accidentally let my 3 drop while I was getting shot. I wasn't paying attention. You do need to pay attention to that with Mesa. Like I said, she is very, very squishy if you're not paying attention. But here's her 4. Just killed everything. Everything's dead. So all you have to do, there's a window that shrinks down. And next time I use the ability, I'll show you guys. There's like a blue ring that will shrink the more you use the ability, the more you're holding left click. That's all you need to do is hold left click and just pan around. And whatever's in that blue aiming circle just falls over. It's fantastic. It's a great ability. Now, as far as what you want to use, like here with this build specifically, you want to make sure that you have your 2 and 3 pretty much always rolling if you're soloing. If you're not soloing, then, you know, having 3 up at all times is nice. You don't need to have your 2 up all the time if you're in a group, but it is nice to give everybody that buff. And the CC. Extra CC is always welcome in most cases. So, like I said, unless you're going up against Infested, you're pretty much going to be taking everybody's gun away. Which can be paramount if your 3 drops in the middle of combat. Try not to let that happen. So you'll just get caught with your pants down and take a bunch of damage. It's not a good time. Not a good time. But you see there, that's what happens when they're CC'd with 2. Their gun gets jammed a little bit. They do get it back eventually, but if they get hit by the CC again, they will again jam their weapon. So, and if both of them drop at the same time there, it's always better to have your 3 up before your 2. However, I did hit 2 before I hit 3 there. Does derp. That's why. Yeah, basically with this build, like mid-level stuff, I mean, these enemies are no slouches as far as their level goes. And I'm basically just walking forward and holding the trigger.
That should keep you going.
Now, you don't need to use your secondary. You certainly can, if you feel like it. I mean, they are buffed quite substantially with Mesa, as far as like reload speed or firing speed, which can be more of a DPS boost if you're using a twin secondary. Where are the Enemasos? Come on. Let's walk back through the area. Maybe we'll see some then. But with Energy Siphon, you can basically keep your 2 and 3 up all the time. And be perfectly fine. It's when using your 4, if you're not paying attention and you hold your 4 for too long, you can run into problems like running out of energy. Which is a real big problem. Because if you can't have your 2 and 3 up, especially your 3, you're extremely squishy. And you more than likely will die if you have to like go face to face with one of those, a heavy gunner. You don't have another way to CC them. But yeah, as long as you have a steady stream of enemies, you're not gonna run out of energy. You're gonna be completely fine. So like I said, a weapon like the Heck that has some sort of self-healing on it, it wouldn't be too bad. But most of the time when you're using Mesa, you're going to have some friends with you that are not only going to be able to, you know, take the heat every now and then, but the chances of you getting a support frame with you are pretty good. Especially if you're with a group of friends. Melted. Just melted. Let's use 4 again. So you see the blue ring that's shrinking down as my energy is decreasing? All I have to do is basically hold left click down. Anything that comes within that blue circle is going to get shot right in the face. And there I did a stupid and ran out of energy. Luckily, my 2 is still up for the time being. I haven't been using my 1. I don't really use it that often, unless I know I'm going up against something big. Because 1 is something that you can use and literally just save until you know you're going to need that extra damage. Like, I'll cast it here, and you'll see like how quickly you store that damage up. Now, if I run into a Nox, which I might here soon, I will be able to use that extra damage by hitting 1 and the next tick of damage from your weapon. Bullet if, you're using a gun that shoots bullets, or the next tick of damage from a energy or beam weapon will do substantially more damage. We'll do all that saved up damage. Let's see if we can't find a Nox.
Additional life support has arrived.
Or something that has a wee bit more health. There's an elite lancer. That guy just died immediately. Bombard. There we go. I hit 1. It exploded. Huh. Very good. I'm in love with this build, actually. This Amprex with Hunter munitions, Mesa, just walking forward, and everything's dying. It's the best thing ever. Goodbye. You're gone. So long, farewell. And you know, you don't have to use weapons that have a bunch of Forma pumped into them. I have no Forma builds for both the weapons that I have equipped in Mesa right now. So, if you're looking to get like very, very entry level and you don't have any Forma on any of the weapons, and you don't even necessarily have to use these weapons, but the Mprex is going to be very, very useful for Mesa. Just walk forward, everything dies. Like it's no big deal. Try to find a heavier enemy. Use 4 on. We're not big of an enemy. Like to find another napalm. Or a Nox. Everybody die. Ooh. There's a Manic coming. That'll be a good one. That'll be a good one to nuke down. Hi, Butcher. Oh no, I did a stupid and I ran out of energy. Nuke. Nuke, Mprex, nuke. Oh! No. No, no thank you. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Ugh. See, I did it dumb and I ran out of energy. Don't run out of energy. No, I should be able to get all my energy back. So I was in my 4 for too long. And I completely ran out. If you're low on energy, just keep your 3 up. Let's take away everybody's weapons. And this is where some self-healing would be nice. But we're pretty deep into this survival mission solo. So I mean, even if you had something something minor for self-healing, like Equilibrium, that mod, which you could have room for with this build, suddenly you would get that little bit of healing. There we go, died again. You'd have that little bit of healing
Hold out as long as you can.
that would get you through stuff like this. And you can go away. Alright, let's get out of here. And there we go. Well, that's this build, guys. Worked really, really well. And towards the end there, we fell a couple times, but since there's no self-sustain with Mesa, outside of having mods that would do that you may or may not have, you know, you are going to have your limitations. But if you're in a group of even randoms, there's a very good chance that you're going to have a support frame with you. If you're playing with friends, you know, you're bringing Mesa for not only crowd control, but to sort of tank a little bit with 3, do a ton of damage. So one of them should be able to definitely support you a little bit. But that is going to be it for this episode. So if you like this build, please hit the like button. If you have any suggestions for this build, for another Mesa build, or you have any requests for anything you want me to do a build video for, leave it in the comment section down below. Do not forget to have a good day, everybody, and I'll catch you all next time.